This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two roads meet, they call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect was like a sign blank check. It seems the ones that coming after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. But I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Ghetto. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you definitely find smoke. Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Bintan, I say up and running. Caliban say my show boy don't ever give in. 7 years of farming, watch the crops them coming. True they see a humble thing, the lion sleeping. But they ain't for no reason. Only God that I believe in, living. Watch them only pass for a season. Godless, I gon' weed them. I represent the ghetto people. I from Nassau, Bahamas.
Good night, Bahamas. And again, welcome to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I'm your host, Valentino, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City that premieres every Friday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. live on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Telephone numbers tonight are 323-6232, 325-4316, and 325-4259. And you can text us, powered by BTC, at 422-GR96. And you also can listen in on Cable Bahamas 969, internet access, 969 Cable Bahamas. And you can tune in and listen live to the broadcast. And I hope we do have a wonderful show tonight. And I hope I reach a lot of people. You know, I'm all about opening the ears of individuals in the country, you know, let them think out of the box. Because if we don't think out of the box, you know, we would always be held in suspense. You know, there would be a lot of secrets, you know, that we wouldn't get to talk about if we don't talk about it. And there are many secrets, you know, and what I'm talking about secrets, there are special privileged people in the country in the government system. And over the course of the years, it's in the police department, immigration department. Mind you, it's not attack on any of these departments. It's the fact that many of us as Bahamians, you know, see that people in high places in the country, especially in the political scene, you know, they get away with certain amount of leverage. And we're going to give evidence to that, you know, based on some comments that were made in the newspaper, you know. But we have made progress, and we're going to talk about that. I want to say good night to my cousin Roberta Newbush. She's listening live Facebook, and all of you who want to come on Facebook, you can join in. And we will begin the show. Okay. Today we're going to talk about injustice. And it's been going on a long time in our country. We have a system that we inherit from the British. And it has not been very, very fair to the Bahamian population. You know, it has been fair to those who, how I should put it, for those who are in political parties, they high position pastors, politicians, certain police officers, and et cetera, et cetera. And we've seen over the course of the years where many of us feel that, the law it isn't for them, it's for us. And because so many of us being advocating for changes in the judiciary system, to start to say, hey, man, if a person of power in the country, even though they have special privilege, breaks the law, blatantly breaks the law, they use their position of power as a way to believe that they can get away with anything in the country. Mind you, they could be innocent, okay, because you're innocent till proven guilty in the court of law, okay? But we also know that if you do a serious offense or offense in this country, that if you were a regular citizen, and we're talking about rape charges like what is before the courts now, and if me as an individual living in the inner city community, live in these communities, and me and a lady could disagree, I'm just giving an example, I could have or could not have raped her. She decides to say it's rape, whether I'm innocent or guilty, if she reaches the station before I have a chance to explain myself to the arresting officers, most definitely they're going to take her side of the story. And then me, as a citizen, if the officers don't do their, if they don't do the proper investigation on the matter, me, who could be innocent and someone is lying on me, I can end up in Foxhill prison, regardless that I'm innocent. But just because it's a female and our law is more for female, we tend to keep it up. So it's a one-sided thing. Then if you're a politician, it seems that you get this position, that the police force or the commissioner of police, they cannot arrest you unless it's from the higher authority, and that is actually the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, as we can see in this particular model. Okay? I don't care what no one tells me. I don't feel the Commissioner of Police has the power to go arrest a sitting member of Parliament. I truly believe, this is the invisible stuff, I truly believe that it comes down to the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas giving the order, because he is the one who runs the country. We might not know this, but behind closed doors, the invisible stuff that goes on behind the door that we, the public, do not see, because we don't like to extend our mind, use our intuition. We have a spirit within us that could sense danger, or could sense things. And like I said, many of us, feel the injustice. So we're going to talk a little bit about Member of Parliament Craig Cornish. And like I said, I don't try to bring down nobody because I'm a Bahamian citizen. This young man who now is before the courts, he has a great career in politics. I don't know him as an individual. He seems to be a very nice guy, but everyone makes bad decisions, and a complaint was made against him. It took a long, long time for the police to properly investigate, and then now he's charged before the court. And we want to talk about what led up to this event for him to get charged before the court. All right? So let's begin by, let's begin by starting with Mr. Craig Cornish, who is now charged. He's a free man now. He's on bail. And many people saying, well, how you get on bail so quick? All the procedures have been done properly, by the judiciary system. All the steps and measures of him getting charged, him going before the court, him getting remanded. And then we saw where he, in a matter of 2 hours, he applied to the Supreme Court for bail, and it was granted of $9,000. That is the right procedure. It might have been quick, but we must understand that these guys, have lawyers, they have law firms, they are political operatives, they know people in the judiciary system. And they put all this in motion. We might not see this, but this was put in motion because the day he got charged, no one knew he was going to get charged, so they ready had this in plan, had this in place for him to get bail, had all the procedures in place for him to be released before he even hit the Fox Hill bus going to the Bahamas Correctional Center on Fox Hill Road. So this was all put together, by the powers to be. You might not can see it, but I can see it. It was put together, They made a decision. I would like to comment, give the Prime Minister of the country, the Honorable Brave Davis, he made a difficult decision, but it's the right decision that he made, first of all. Because the citizen of the country saw the injustice, and I'm saying to you that Craig Cornish could be an innocent young man, okay? Yeah. I just read this text. Okay, yeah. So I was just reading the text. Like I said, he can be innocent. It was his former girlfriend. Things could have gone bad, and then she decided, like I say, fabricated a young man because, he's a sitting politician, and then they have a disagreement, and then, et cetera, and then she pressed the charges. On the other side, it could be true that he assaulted her and raped her, but that is going to be presented to court. The evidence is going to provide who was innocent and who was guilty, and then true justice would be served. But I'd like the Commandant, Prime Minister of the Bahamas, the Honorable Brave Davis, for just looking at the whole scenario, see how this is affecting the country. Because we had many young men and many people charged with rape, arrested for rape, charged with rape before this incident, and they're in Fox Hill Prison. Bahamas Correctional Center. And they're being remanded to prison. So people were just mainly upset because, they saw the injustice. We look at some of the police shooting, the police are doing a very difficult job in the country right now with over 62 murders happening in the country. And over the course of the years, we've had like 100, 147 in the last 10 years, less 100 every year. So, it's very difficult, for them to operate at capability. But sometimes they make mistakes, because, they end up shooting innocent people, without a doubt. We're never going to hear no apology, they might get sued, but they're never going to apologize because of the high rate of crime. And in some cases, we see where the police are over-aggressive, and that is getting the Bahamian people fed up because some of the cases that are reported on the news, and when we listen to the news and we see footage, we say to ourselves, man, the guy is innocent. The Royal Bahamas Police Force, they are lying, and they're supposed to be protect and serve. But in some cases, they make mistakes, but they never, ever come to the general public and say they made a mistake. The families of the victims who feel that their loved one was innocently killed by the Royal Bahamas Police Force, they file a lawsuit. And it takes years sometimes for people for the court to come to conclusion, especially the corners, before it's transferred, if it's transferred to a criminal court for criminal matters. Like instance, like MP Craig Cornish. Many people are surprised to see him before the courts now. Okay? The reason why he's before the courts now because the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, he looked at what was reported in the media, Facebook, and, it's the right thing to do. Craig Cornish, like I said, he has to be proven guilty before the court. But at the same time, the Prime Minister has a decision to be made because we have seen the corruption, and the Bahamian people, they just want a sign of relief to say, what, we to the bottom, we get charged for all kinds of serious crimes. But when we see people to the top who supposed to be setting examples, they are supposed to be abiding by the rules, the laws and regulations, supposed to be abiding by Parliament, but many of them break that rule. So we're very happy to see that charges are now being brought against members of parliament. It's not something that we're happy to see, but it's something that has to be done to bring stability and honesty to our country. Because when you are leading people at any government position, at any ministry, you are serving the people. You go there to serve the people. And if you go there and you show discord where there's injustice, the little things you do to the top will affect us to the bottom. That's why there's so many retaliation killing in the country now, because people feel that the system is only for the system. So yes, I just want to read this comment. It says, I don't believe our laws are more for female, at least not when it comes to rape. It seems more like females are normally called liars or victims, blamed in incidents of rape in this country. Sure, the males may be arrested, but as soon as the man says something like rough, consensual sex, or the situation, let me see. Yeah, the situation, all right, doesn't look like how someone perceives rape would be that case. That goes nowhere. I could agree with that also. It's a two-way street. It's very difficult in our country. We have an abusive society. We have a violent society. And we need to find ways on how we could change the mindset of our males and females in this country. So it don't get to a point where a man needs to rape a woman or a woman needs to rape a man. We have to teach our kids, the kind of stuff like what's going on in Japan. We need to follow the Japan model and how they're teaching their kids, about hospitality, about respecting their elders and hygiene. And all the young girls, they just wear white panties just to show, cleanliness. All the girls wear white panties all day. That's all they wear in the schools. So you know what that means? Okay, and they're wearing dress. Okay, so that means they take pride in themselves as a female. They have a lot of discipline in Japan that I admire. And if we could pick up some of those programs, and bring it back here, it would change the way how we do things in the country. Yeah, Japan. Just go look at it. Y'all don't believe me? Japan teaching their kids. I'm not talking about the religion part. I'm talking about how they're teaching their kids to respect their elders. They're teaching their children how to show respect to one another. Show how to treat a woman, how a woman is supposed to treat a man, and they teach them at a young age. So as they grow, they're gonna be fruitful and children who are beneficial to the growth and development of Japan. You understand? So we need to look at what they're doing, and see that the programs that Japan is running right now are some great programs on how to educate and change the mindset of individuals in our country. Okay, now, my cousin said, shouldn't matter if you're MP or not. Everyone should be dealt with according to the crime committed. Sadly, nothing is ever done until it has hit the doorsteps. Okay? That's what my cousin is saying. So steps. Okay? So the Prime Minister of the country, and I want to thank the media, I want to thank civic groups for pushing for the arrest of Mr. Cornish. Like I said, no one's targeting Mr. Cornish. It's just that he was accused of something as a sitting MP. And, the police dragged their foot, the AG dragged their foot, the Bahamian people saw them dragging their foot. And because of that, it came down to the Prime Minister making a decision. And I'm going to say this to you. I really feel that the Honorable Brave Davis is the one who pushed the issue for Mr. Cornish to be charged, honestly speaking. Because if I tell you, if you look at sworn-in ceremonies by prime ministers and MPs, you'd see in our second swearing-in or amendment, it swears to hold secrecy. And anything discussed in Parliament is hold confidential on both sides. You understand? So it means it protects the government. But as far as criminal matters, as far as this year, something has to be done with this, because it's a criminal matter and it needs to be properly investigated, and we need satisfaction as citizens in the country. You understand? Because we could see where the red line was. We listened to the commissioner's statement when he said, it's been turned over to the AG and blah, 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 and the AG say, this and blah, blah, blah. And then it took about 4 months for Mr. Cornish to be charged. And I like I said, Mr. Cornish is behaving. I don't know him. I think that, it's sad to see him get charged, because I don't want to see no behavior get bring down, okay? I don't want to see no behaviors before the court, you understand? But still there needs to be justice. And because you're a political party and you hold an MP seat, doesn't mean you could go out and do what you want. Because me as a citizen, I have to stop to the red light, okay? I have to stop to the red light. That's what the red light for. And if I run the red light, I get a ticket. If I run the red light, I can lose my life and get an accident or cost the life of somebody else or many others in that car. You understand? So, again, the Prime Minister made a tough decision. And it brings a sign of relief for us, because now we know that we made strides. 20 years ago, former Prime Minister, Hubert Alexander Minnis, it started with him. There were a lot of MPs breaking the laws, doing what they want, but never brought before the courts because they were untouchable. Okay? Hubert Ingham came in and serving under Sir Lyndon Pinland, and then when he took over the Free National Movement, he became Prime Minister in 1992. And one thing he did was form and put the Commission of Inquiry to deal with corrupt politicians. And the main person who he put before the Commission of Inquiry was the former Progressive Liberal Party leaders. And we're talking about the late, great Sir Lyndon Pinland. I think we had both from Freeport, and one got sentenced. Sir Lyndon Pinland was acquitted of all charges. And it started with that. That was our first step. Now, I was really disappointed in Ingram at that time, because, we all loved Sir Lyndon Pinland and the way he was treated. Honestly speaking, how we did Sir Lyndon, it was very shameful. They hurt the behaving hard to see that a person who grew up under Sir Lyndon, would be vengeful. So I heard that Sir Lyndon did some things to him, as a young minister. And, when he got that prime minister's seat, he denied access to Parliament and all kind of stuff he did to Sir Lyndon Pinland. Probably because, Sir Lyndon Pinland did some things to him when he was a young sitting MP. And it was a sour day in the country. Very, very sour day, to see how Sir Lyndon Pinland was treated by his student. How should I put it? But then Ingham understand what he did, and he started to show Sir Lyndon Pinland more respect. But it started off with that. And that's the first time we ever had a commission inquiry that had politicians on corruption. And we had, I think, 1 or 2 convictions. And then we had, let's see, I'll read it. And then we had, after that, we had an ex-brave man again. I think it was, let me see. So let me just read where some of the MPs or sitting MPs started to get brought before the courts for corruption. Let me read it first. Van Noord Abaco MP Craig Cornish was charged in the magistrate court on Wednesday. It marked the first time in the modern Bahamas that 2 sitting parliamentarians face serious criminal charges. Those two are Long Island MP Adrian Gibson was charged with bribery and money laundering last year. Yesterday, clerk Maurice Tanks and former House Speaker Halson Mutri different on whether MPs should continue to serve after being charged with serious crimes. And let me just read. I think this is the right one. All right. As part of the institution for so long, I would prefer it if the Westminster Convention are followed, whereby if these kinds of things happen to you and you get into these personal problems, you would respectfully, you would respect the conventions and resign your seat, Mr. Tang said. He retired in 2017. I can't see any parliamentary who are under criminal charges. I don't see how they could represent their constituency fully and properly. Now listen to this. No law requires a sitting elected official to resign from Parliament when charged with a crime. They are disqualified from office only after being sentenced to more than 12 months in prison. That means they still could be in Parliament. The only way they can be disqualified if they serve more than 12 months in prison. That means they can spend 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and they can still be a sitting MP. Boy, these some serious laws, eh? Mr. Mutri said Prime Minister Brave Davis was right to accept Cornish's resignation as parliamentary secretary in the office of the Prime Minister. Now, I want you to listen to this closely. Mr. Mutri said Minister Philip Brave Davis was right to accept Cornish's resignation as a parliamentary secretary in the office of the Prime Minister. But he added, a member of Parliament is presumed innocent until proven guilty, just like any ordinary citizen. And they are protected by a certain level of privilege. Listen, this is a sitting member of Parliament, former sitting member of Parliament, and listen closely. He says, again, he added, a member of Parliament is presumed innocent until proven guilty, just like any ordinary citizen. And they are protected by a certain level of privilege. So when we're saying, like we were being saying, we see what happened to the poor when it comes to criminal charges, but we see where MPs and police officers and immigration officers and everyone have been breaking the law. And we all say they're protected. So you're seeing and you're listening and you're hearing that there are special privilege given to a certain level of privilege to a sitting MP. Yes. Like I said, the commissioner, and this is the privilege he's talking about. If you listen to the swearing in, where we swear to the Queen, we swear to the King now, and then secondly, we swear to confidentially, and then thirdly, we swear to the Bahamian people. Okay? You would see where that second one, where it says, everything done in Parliament should be held to secrecy. Whether you doing illegal stuff, you are protected. All right? So what you're saying the Prime Minister is doing now, how he accept the resignation of Craig Cornish, that's a big, big, big move. Listen why. All right. He said, the special privilege does not give any member of Parliament immunity or what did he say? Yeah, immunity to go and carry out criminal acts. No, it does not. But when you understand the kind of power you get beside yourself. you know? Because when you listen to the lady who was on Facebook, this was on Facebook, and you heard the threatening statements made, alleged statement made, which she said to the Criminal Investigation Department, where Cornish threatened her, and etc. All right, so he's talking about that. If he did threaten her, why did you think he threatened her? He threatened her because he know he was almost untouchable. That's why a few weeks ago, he said that he is the Prime Minister of Barbacoa. And then he retracted a day later and apologized to the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas because he let that power get to his head. He thought he was untouchable. You know, like I said, he's a citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I wish for him to have a wonderful, wonderful career and contribute to the development of this country. But at the same time, if you use your special privilege to take advantage of a next behemoth because you are some special MP and you get in your head that you could do what you want and nobody could do you nothing, well, listen, buddy. They all say that when you expose yourself and you act the way you act, and when we figure out what is going on with you, we start to fight back. And many people fought back. You know? I see my boy Shaggy Chipmunk. You know, one of the most, let me see what he said. He says, one of the most important shows on air. We don't understand how important it is to have a platform like Inside the Inner City. I'm grateful. He said he's grateful to the knowledge and the voice of, he's talking about me, on how I represent the Bahamian people. I'm not with the PLP, I'm not with the AFNM, I'm not with nobody. All I am is for what is right. That's the only thing what I'm for. What is right. Because I want this country to be a place where there's no prejudice, where we have equal rights and justice for all, where our parliamentarians understand that if they break the law, that if our police officers break the law and they violate the next behemoth who they're supposed to protect, that they too can be held accountable for their actions, just as well as how the citizens of the country who go there and they break the law and they hurt people, they are held accountable, and then we would have a balanced society. You understand? And that's what I'm fighting for. Okay? Because I've been locked up in the station to see how citizens get treated. And I could have a show for about 2 months and name some names and things I've seen over the course of my years being locked up in those police stations. All right? The abuse. In some cases, is warranted now because many of the guys up there are very, very aggressive. Not because, they become animals. They don't have a fair chance at life. And they end up in the judiciary system, they end up in the court system. They become wild, like wild animals. I was a wild animal, but at least I had common sense, And I think that's the reason why I didn't become a wild animal, because I never spent a long time in prison. I believe if I spent 2, 3, 4, 5 years or 6 years in prison and came out, I would have been an extra monster on this road. You understand? So many of those guys are just wild. Yeah, so let me finish read. Yes, Shaggy Chipman. He says here, the immunity of to go and carry out criminal acts. But what that effectively does is make certain that for political purposes, charges are not trumped up against opposition members of parliament, because you would open the flood door if you permit political motives to go after and bring charges against opposing person. Now, what he is saying is that you would open a floodgate. The floodgate he's talking about is that when you go after one parliamentarian, okay, Let me give you a prime example. The former Prime Minister, Hubert Alexander Ingram, when he brought, I think it's Shane Gibson, on charges, if you listen to, I think it was Brave Davis, I don't know if it's Red Smith, I could be mistaken. But if you listen to what they said, now the FNM was in power, and the word came with their mouth stating that, boy, what you doing now? I hope. Let me see if I can remember the words. It was, what you doing now? What they said, what they calling it now? They're calling it some kind of hunting, or whatever it is. They say you got after these ministers. And they say, be ready that if we win this election, we will be doing the same thing to your sitting members of parliament. And didn't we see that? We saw menace went after a few sitting MPs. And the flood door opened when Shane Gibson was walking with that crutch. And if you watch the response of that party, you could see that irate, and they were upset. Now, menace gone. Now, look what you have. We had Adrian Gibson brought under charges under the Progressive Liberal Party, right? Now we see the Progressive Liberal Party under pressure from the BMN people and didn't want it to be one-sided, and they brought a balance to it. They charged one of their own. And that's what we're looking for. So that's what he's talking about, opening the flood door. And the flood door has been opening now because I'm going to continue to read. That's the flood door he's talking about. They were afraid to lock up one another because, we're supposed to protect one another. None of us supposed to be before the courts. Listen, we in here, in Parliament or the opposition and government, we could work together. Okay? Me and all the guys on the streets who are doing criminal activities or selling marijuana joints and stuff like that, let them get the full extent of the law. You understand? Let's protect one another in here. And that's what was going on in Parliament for the last 50 years in the country. And we are finally, after a lot of activism, a lot of people understanding the situation, and started to give their opinion. And it forced their hands to do the right thing. Because if we didn't do this, the Bahamas would keep on being a corrupt country. You understand? So let me see where it is. I can't see too good. All right. All right. Because, let me just read it then. Because he's saying, charges are not trumped up against opposition members of parliament because you would open the floodgates if you permit political motives to go after and bring charges against opposition person. Charges against persons currently or former elected official, once rare, have become more common in recent years. It has to become more common because now they're saying that we could be brought before the court for criminal matters. So you wouldn't let that power get to your head. You would be a more honest member of parliament, dedicated member of parliament, and a transparent member of parliament because you don't want to get the bank lane shuffled. And we need to have this balance in our parliament, in our police force, in our defense force, in our immigration department. Okay? We need these kind of programs, internal affairs and investigation to make sure we bring balance and don't let no one think they're above the law. You understand? Okay. All right. Some trace the development to former Prime Minister Hubert Minnis. See, I told you, we should give a lot of credit to Hubert Alexander Minnis. You understand? Because what he did against Linden, like I say, it was distasteful to me at that time, right? But like I said, when you get to understand that he might have saw some corruption, he could be corrupt himself. He might need to be brought up on charges himself to really think about it. But like I say, that's not going to happen because he's out of power now and then he's protected. But here's what he started. And because he started it, we continue it, and we're going to have to keep on continuing it. Okay. It's first started by former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis. Minnis pledged, hold on, hold on. No, it goes to former Prime Minister. Yes, and Hubert Ingram, but they're saying Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis pledged to hold public official accountable. But like I said, Ingram started it first. Then Minnis came in, and he made this a part of his campaign motive. And he stuck to it. And he said he pledged to hold public official accountable, a declaration that was followed by Shane Gibson, Frank Smith, Michelle Rackley, and Kendall Dorsett. I forget about all those guys. And all were former top PLP officials being hurled before the courts. You understand? And he opened the floodgate because, you're not going to be in power forever. And the minute he loses, we are seeing now where Adrian Gibson is before the court. So it's tick for tat, but it's better for me and you as citizens now because now we are known, we open the floodgates. And the floodgates is like this. Again, a prime example. When the Muhammad's didn't give bail for murder, okay? And this is what we call the floodgate. It's always a case that other suspects would use if the court passes it. In one instance we had in the Bahamas, this is about 30 years ago, we never used to give bail. Then there was an incident with Life at Key where a very rich, powerful family, a young man trespassed. He was killed on the property. And some people were saying it was murder. Some people were saying self-defense. Some people were saying trespassing. But based on the evidence that the police collected, it took a little while. They finally decided to charge him for murder or manslaughter. I think it's murder. And we never used to give out bail for murder. Okay? And then when they went to the court, because he was a rich and he had a very powerful family, he was able to go to court and get bail for murder. And when he got bail for murder, I can remember immediately lawyers for other defendants who were charged for a similar offense of murder who were not even thinking about get bail. And they used reference to that case file, and they said to the judge, well, case 111 with Life Key or whatever it is, he was allowed to get bail. So if he was allowed to get bail, then my client is allowed to get bail. And then when that person got bail, then all of a sudden all of a sudden now you hear now you have to go to Supreme Court to supply for bail for murder. So now it's bail for murder. And we are saying today, we see the effects of that. And we are saying today, guys today would just rob somebody, kill somebody, and they right back on bail. You know what happened? Because we opened the floodgates. You know why it happened? Because we allow one rich family to manipulate the system because of political interference and greed, and corruption, and that opened the door. Now we get hundreds of murderers walking around the streets, killing the human citizen, even causing themselves to get killed. Actually, they bury themselves in their own grave because they're going to come with the day, they're going to hurt somebody, and they don't last 2 weeks. Someone come back and kill them, or a week after that, the police come and lock them up because the police, it seems that guys today, they don't do crime to stay free. They do crime to go to jail because they do something tonight. They do something, what time is it? It's 8 o'clock now? It's 7:30? They do something 7:30. And time is 7:40, 41. Everyone know what they do. Okay? Yeah, so that's what we're talking about, floodgates. So because Hubert Alexander Minnis went after Dorsett, Shane Gibson, Ms. Rackley, she was in charge of urban renewal in Freeport, and he brought them before the courts. he changed the dynamics. And what he did is he opened the flood door. Now it's Brave Davis time. But Brave Davis done a balanced thing by, like I say, I truly believe he is the one who gave the okay for Mr. Cornish to be put before the court because it was the right thing to do. So now the floodgate is open. So we stand a chance, payment people. We stand a chance. Okay, so let me finish read. Minutes pledged to, all right, being heard before the court. Since then, F&M figures, MP Mr. Gibson and former cabinet minister Anisha Roll, or Hatu, have been charged with offenses under the PLP administration. F&M officials are monitoring other ongoing police investigation and expect others to be charged. So we're looking to see more former parliamentarian to be charged. I don't know if transparency is the real reason for it all or revenge. You see, they telling you all, listen now, it's about revenge. It's not about the transparency no more. When Hubert Minnis, he ran after Dorset, he went after Reckley, they opened a flood door of revenge. So if you're on the sitting side of the FNM and you're on the sitting side of the PLP, let me tell you this, you better don't do nothing that is criminal because your opposite will gather the evidence and put you before the court. So that's what we have now. We have tick for tack. So like I said, I know what it was. It's revenge. And Mr. Tang said these things have to play out and the legal process has to take its course. Cornish case, let me see. Nothing less different from recent examples in one notable way. It marked the first time in decades that a sitting governing party MP was charged with a serious crime. In 1989, Wilbert Morse, the PLP Auckland's and Crooked Island MP, was accused of attempting to bribe a magistrate. Morse resigned his seat on October 19, 1989. So yes, yeah. So it's tick for tat. So I would encourage our sitting MPs, since that it's a tick for tat now, you got to be on your toes, you got to be transparent, you know. And we're looking to see these kind of internal investigation also go in the police department, you know, and some of the matters would be sketchy, you know. The police in this time have to be very vigilant. You know, they're dealing with a lot of violent crimes, a lot of dangerous young men, and a lot of dangerous females, a lot of dangerous people in the country. And the police, some of the police themselves are criminals themselves, all right? So we have to bring some type of stability, you know, knowing that if you out there and you are abusing your power, we need a system in place that you can be afraid of, you know? Because we listen to, sometimes when we have discussions and you're having a conversation with police, you know, they tell you can't do me nothing, you know, because they are protected, they have a maternity. And we need the police, but we don't need the police to be aggressive. We need the police to be fair. You understand? They serve the people. Parliamentary serve the people. You know, the church serve the people, but it's the other way around. But now that a lot of us are fighting and speaking out, we are seeing progress. All right. You see what else they say now? Yeah. Groups like this, women's group calls charges against North Abaco MP Cornish a momentum step for accountability. It is, you know, and I commend our Honorable Brave Davis. Like I say, you know, it's a tit for tat, but he made a tough decision, you know, as far as Cornish giving his resignation on the advice of Brave Davis. That was an admirable thing to do, to give up your position as the permanent secretary in the office of the prime minister because you're charged with criminal offenses. Like they said, in order for him to resign as a member of parliament, he has to serve more than 1 year. He has not yet been convicted, so he still can be a sitting MP, even though his charges is ongoing. The charges are ongoing in the Supreme Court. He can still be a sitting member of parliament, but he's not a permanent secretary anymore. No more. He don't hold no government position as of now. But I do think that, it came from the top. It came from the Honorable Prime Minister. He had to make the call, not the Commissioner of Police. I don't believe in that. Who out there could believe the Commissioner could pull the strings and lock up a sitting MP? I've never seen the Commissioner of Police locked up no sitting member of Parliament. I look in the States, I've not seen it. It comes from a higher authority. And as far as how the case took place, all this was set in motion. As far as he was saying, we didn't know he was going to be charged Wednesday. A sitting judge, I think the Supreme Court judge who gave bail was Gregory Hilton. Gregory Hilton is one of the best and most fairest judge. Let me tell you, I've been before Gregory Hilton. And I can tell you, he's one of the most fairest judge in the country. When I got convicted for a firearm, and I was supposed to do 2 years in prison, he put me on probation. You understand? Because he heard and understand what I was going through as an individual. He's one of the most fairest judges, and he was able to give Cornish bail. Okay, we're going to take this call. You have a call on the line? Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside In City.
Scrooge, what's up?
Everything good, bro?
Yeah. Listen, your show is one of the most level shows in this country.
Wow.
Right? Most honest, level, upfront, up-speaking show.
Wow.
Don't slip like what you slipped just now no more, man, Scrooge.
What is
Talking
it?
about that come from Brave Davis.
Who would come
That
from?
didn't come from no Brave Davis. That come from the Department of DPP. And that
DPP.
woman who reported that needs to be commended.
Okay.
And the DPP. Not no
DPP.
Brave Davis.
Okay.
If you would leave it to Brave Davis, this case probably wouldn't have come up for another year or two. He only was reading off of do what he had to do because of pressure and what was handed to him.
Yes, if he was listening, that's what I was saying. You understand? So,
Oh, well, I must be the twist.
Yeah,
Say that.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean all together. The pressure from the
Yes, the
activism.
pressure from the people
Yes,
and from
yes.
the DPP.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Don't give him no more credit
I
than what he
agree.
do because Keith Bell is in the same almost similar situation. He ain't do nothing with that.
No.
And all kind of other things. Don't give him no credit. Listen, Scroogey,
Go
we
ahead.
got to save this nation, man.
Yes, sir. That's what all.
We got to stop prettying up things for these people and save our nation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And if you was listening, I was meaning all that in one. I know he got his hand forced. You understand? But because the activism, the media, and guys like yourself, and etc. So it was a good thing. You understand? But you're right, the DDP, yes. And my auntie, Lillian Brennan, she is the one right now who, in the Department of Immigration, she is the one who sent that file up that they were reading on Lincoln Bean and all that. That's my auntie. All of us who, in my family, we honest people. We Browns and Brennans. And I can tell you this, even when I was on the streets, the top gangster, I was always honest. That's why I lived so long. We have a next caller? Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside in the City.
Hey, Scrooge, what's happening, Pop here?
Hey, what you say, big bro?
Everything cool. Thank God for life and good evening to your listeners all over the world.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think they take too long with, investigation when it comes down to certain people.
Yes.
I feel like that was too long.
Yeah, too long.
Yeah, and normally, people will feel like, in spite of Mr. Davis being a nice man to some people, or being a kind of person who some people look at him as, he as the leaders, they try to sweep things underneath the rug and stuff like that. They try to take up for one another.
Yeah, yes.
I don't know how much evidence more lately, let's say from the start, right, April or something, it's like
Yes.
4 months, the investigation was going on. The commissioner
Yes.
on TV keeps saying they investigate.
Yes.
I don't know if they needed more evidence, if any new evidence came in, because it make people feel like Prime Minister Davis and the PLP was trying to cover this up. If these are the same, if these, like with the Kobe Davis lady, the minister, commissioner come out of months after questions was, going around about her and the police officer, that it wasn't sufficient evidence. So I wonder, like with this Cornish case, if they had sufficient evidence from 4 months ago, or they get some new evidence, I guess it'll come out in court. But Scrooge, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you know the gentleman who they call Canon Sebastian Campbell.
I heard the name before.
Okay, I don't know if he's a Cat Island man or whatsoever, right? But he normally speak out on certain things. Some people say the reason why he's speaking out now, but he said he spoke out to the funeral yesterday of the former commissioner of police, and they said people only make noise when things happening to them, but as long as it happening to other people, they don't have a problem. What he was talking to, that's what some people say to him speaking out now. I don't agree with them too much. He's saying that now. I mean, what he's saying is that the PLP's out of touch with the Bahamian people. It's like Prime Minister Davis and some people say his merry man or his colleagues. They use the poor people to elevate or power, enrich themselves, friends, family, and lovers. But from what Canon Sebastian Campbell said to the funeral yesterday, he said like they ain't no people's person. It's like they don't really like people. It's like they use the poor people. They don't answer their phone. They don't return no calls. They carry on like they're the boss. They do what they want to do with our money. The decisions what they be making, we have to carry the load for it. They'll never make them decisions with their with their personal business and stuff like that.
Yes.
Understand? And it should be more than just waiting for 5 years to vote them out. They're getting away with I call it political murder. They doing what they want to do. When you ask questions, it's like they taking so long, to give answers. Like you mentioned that the Prime Minister, some people would say, give him a little bit of credit because he accept the man resignation. He could have said, well, he didn't accept it or what. But after all the pressure, like people say.
That's what caused it.
Yeah, the pressure.
The caller was right. The first caller was right. I was saying the same thing as somebody else is telling the whole 9 yard. Go ahead. Sorry for cutting you off.
I feel like he should have do something.
Long time.
Do something long time.
On a serious matter like that.
Yeah, man. And listen, the only credit I won't give him credit, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want him to be brave, like he has named brave. I want him to have the intestinal fortitude. On the street, we call it the B word, right? Not the guts. The fire Keith Bell. You want some credit, fire Keith Bell? Ask him to resign. You read the newspaper today in the Guardian. I hear Dwight Strawn them talking about it this morning. It's reported that an email came out. Some people say, well, this person where the email from allegedly the director of immigration, right? Saying they believe they're trying to make it political because they shouldn't send it to the opposition. They should send it to all the media. Well, I, as one of them person like Dwight Strawn, say send it to the media and send it to the opposition.
That's Mayani who write the thing. The report is Mayani Lillian Brennan. You want to see Elle Brennan? That's Mayani. Because she's a God-fearing woman and she's in her country. I don't know.
What Keith Bell them doing is wrong. And Prime Minister Davis them, then. I don't think, some people want to say they're making dumb and stupid decisions. I agree, right? But Brave Davis ain't dumb, man. Brave Davis ain't stupid. I wonder if this intentional what they be doing to us.
I think it comes down to this. Remember, the Haitian nationals who are Bahamians, they have a lot of voters over here. And I think looking at the general election past, they look at the numbers. And they feel that if they attack these numbers, they won't get those votes to be prime minister or become, I understand they'll win the next government because we have to look at the statistics.
Davis them going to be 70 or I think he over 70. They need to go sit down, man. Come on, man. That's crazy, man. Will you sell out the whole country because you won't be prime minister or you won't vote?
That's what it's all about. See, we pick
how much more money or how much more they need?
So what you think, Keith Bell?
When they ain't carrying none of this money nowhere.
Man, Papa, me and you might know that.
Huh?
Me and you might know that. But in the circle, that's a circle that they're in, and everyone tries to top one another in that circle.
Greedy? Why they? Jeez, It's like you hear what Sebastian Campbell say, Canon Sebastian.
Yeah, I
Campbell.
listen,
It's
man.
like they don't care about people. Like people, they use the poor people in power and enrich themselves. I've been saying that so long.
What you think government is? Hold on, listen. Let me explain this to everyone out there.
Yes, sir.
Let me explain this to y'all. Remember when Christ was around, right? And he said, "Give unto Caesar what is doing to Caesar," right? The Roman system ain't going nowhere, buddy.
No.
Show me what different. The Governor General, who is the Governor General right now? Let me just explain this to you. The Governor General is the Governor General right now. Their names might be Cynthia Mother Pratt or whoever the former Governor General was, but the word Governor General never changes, right?
No.
Right? The Prime Minister is set up just like how Pontius Pilate was. Okay? There's nothing new under the sun. This is the same Roman system.
Wickedness.
Their job is not to help us. The caller just stated that true people are activism and speaking of what's going on, especially against Mr. Cornish, is what push for the AGG to charge him before the courts.
And man, it's like they ain't get no shame. When Fred Mitchell, the chairman, he come out with this WhatsApp telling them that they don't have to answer people and they must be quiet and PLPs must support the. I call it the wrong. He telling us to support it and all of that.
Support the wrong?
Foolishness.
You know why? Because it's a system set up. The party itself is a system. The two-party system, the PLP and the FNM. We had one system first, Remember, we had the British, and then we had the PLP, right? We had the British voice. Then we started the fight and we formed the PLP. Then we do that, we split the parties. And between them two parties right now, we have formed what we call colonialism in those two parties.
I kind of sure agree. The PLP and the FNM, especially the PLP, what was back in the days, I ain't the same PLP today.
No, they're not. They don't really care about the people.
And I can tell you this way: we expected good things from Prime Minister Davis, because like I say, from the past, what we know about him, he's supposed to be a good man.
Yeah, I don't think it's
turned out to be the worst PLP.
What?
Yes, man.
Stop that man already.
We only doing 1 month before 2 years, and they was finished for 12 months. 11 months. See, what the problem is what Sebastian Campbell say, what I've been saying a long time. They disrespectful, you see?
Yeah.
They think they arrive. They carry on like the monkey who climb the pole.
Mm-hmm.
He end up sharing rear end. They feel like they arrive. They feel like, I only can believe like how they reaching 70 and they over 70 and think they know only one thing next, right?
Yeah.
So they don't care. They care less what we saying. It's so sickening, though. We shouldn't have to wait 5 years. And I tired of repeating myself. Hey, I don't want to know if you had a story about...
Go ahead.
The prime minister or the president in Ecuador, one of them places, would get executed.
Yeah, I heard of it.
I don't know if I using the right word.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook.
I say to myself, my God.
Look what's
happened. And this ain't the first prime minister or president that's happened to.
No.
I say, what does make people them want to do them kind of things, them?
Man, the people feel that you ain't doing the right thing.
But we need prayers in the Bahamas.
Yes.
We need. It's like we's a blessed place, and it's like either the devil or they know. A lot of us is hypocrites, but we say we as a Christian nation and we believe in God, and it's like He protects us, not just through hurricanes, through many things, bring us from so far, and it's like
we inherit a system, brother. The Christianity system is the same system that crucified Jesus Christ. And we serve that system. The same Caesar, the same governors, Pontius Pilate.
But these politicians look like they will make it get worse, different from Pilate and Pontius Pilate.
We serve them.
They can't only
we inherit the system.
Them somewhere, man. What they dealing with?
They inherit.
How do you think they could do what they want to? Take 4 months. I don't blame the politicians only. This is a collective responsibility. This the commissioner of police. This the
that's the system.
All
that's the system. All that's the system. Same system.
Yes.
That's the same system, no difference.
Yeah, they have a responsibility. You can't wait 4 months to do it. Look at Keith Bell, the Prime Minister office, said the other day, after he come, like I was telling them, they didn't even have to come from a way to fire Keith Bell. From here, the official, the director saying Keith Bell interfering with the business and the immigration. He was to do something about it. Keith Bell is not above the law. Cornish wasn't above the law. And all of them innocent until proven guilty.
That's true.
But how you could have Keith Bell sitting in immigration 2 weeks, 3 weeks? You all about talking about who could be the governor general and partying this way and partying the next way. You ain't got no respect for us.
Who does party?
Me with them. They think I'll say some prime ministers or president or members of parliament like they arrive somewhere. You're just the chief servant. That's all. Do your damn job. So you all have a nice weekend, yeah?
Okay, sir. All right. Most people don't understand. the system we serve is the same system that crucified. Listen, all the pastors in this country, let me tell you all something. All of y'all who is pastors in this country, you all serve the same system that crucified Jesus Christ, that try to execute Meshach, Abednego, that execute John the Baptist. All right? So y'all are actually, most of y'all are serving Satan. And go look at, go do your research. See if the system now, see if the Catholic Church and whatever church, see where they come from. See if they're the ones who are responsible for killing millions of people all over the bombs, probably even billions, and bring Christianity with murder. Huh? What system you think it is? And what system you think they serve? And what system you think most of our church-going Christian people serving in this country today? Let them go do their research and they can't argue with me. Or nobody. This is common fact. This is common fact. You want to see every pastor have to go where? To get what? The doctorate. They have to go to Rome to get your pastoral degree. And that's the same place that was running the world 2,000 years ago with crucified Christ, and we inherited, right? And we indoctrinated. Now it backfired on us because it teaches about corruption. It don't teach us about love and sharing the way Jesus Christ did or John the Baptist did. It teaches about abusing and believe you better than somebody. That's our system. And our political system is the same thing. The governor general is the one who crucified Christ. All right? Punch its palate. Just like how we get Dave Rivers over here as like the governor general. You know what I mean? Even though we have a sitting governor general, but Brave is like the governor general. I consider him Pontius Pilate, and he reports to the king, and he's there in England. Then if it ain't so, why Brave Davis got to go to the coronation of the day when he became king? And who do you believe Brave Davis signed on to when he go and he became prime minister, and who he swear to? And Papa, remember I say this to you? When you were saying they ain't above the law, they are above the law because it's in the second swearing in. That's why I always tell you, listen and read. The Second Amendment, when they swear in, they swear to keep things secret and confidential, and what's discussed in Parliament is kept secret. Okay? That protects them. Okay? That's why the Commissioner of Police can go and lock up no sitting member of Parliament. He is out of jurisdiction. And I heard the caller said that, it was the AGG who made the decision. And I would agree with him to an extent. I'm not denying nothing he said, but I'm still going to add on that it was still him who had to give the okay. It might have not been something he wanted to do, but he had no choice because of the activism that was going on in the country, the radio shows, and the lady, she gave her testimony on the airwaves and Facebook, and then many of us are citizens. We were outraged about it. Hi, sis, I see you. What's up, Philip? Philip Cryer, my brother. So good night, everyone. Yeah. So they are above the law. They are above the law. That's why it took so long. But we're finally getting there, and we're gonna keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. And you heard that, he gave us a resignation on the advice of the Prime Minister. So we could give Brave Davis a little credit, but like the caller said before, it was the Bahamas at large and citizens who pushed the issue for Cornish to be put before the court. And like I said, he can be an innocent man. All right? And it's time for a change, like my sister said, in the country, It's crazy. It's crazy. Let me see if I get something else to read. I think I lost the page. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Yeah, I'm honest. My family is honest. All of my family is honest. We Browns and Brennans, and we outspoken. And we don't do things for money. We rather suffer. All right? I've turned down thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm supposed to be a millionaire now, just for me to be on people's side and to be speaking for them. I turned it down. You know why? Because I truly believe that integrity is more important than money. And caring is more important than money. Yes, you need money, but don't put your trust in money. Don't sell your soul out for money like how many of our politicians and our pastors and guys on the street selling out themselves for money and our females selling out ourselves for money. Money is the root of all evil. And when you chase after it with the wrong intentions and you do anything for it, you would cause yourself and your family to burn, and you'd cause your country to burn. So those who hold this position of power, and if they are greedy, they will destroy us. Simple as that. You know? Simple as that. Okay. Where it gone? I have this now. All right. Let me read this last thing. All right, let me read the woman's group calls for charges against North Abaco MP Cornish, a monumental step for accountability. Okay, Women United, a women's activist group, said charges involving North Abaco MP Craig Cornish are a monumental step towards accountability and fairness. Yes, that's what we want, fairness. The North Abaco MP was charged with 2 counts of rape against a 35-year-old woman, assault, and death threats against the same woman. Writing to express our heartfelt satisfaction and gratitude for recent developments that highlighted a significant advancement in our position of justice and gender equality. Women United statement said, the group applauded Brave Davis for requesting and accepting Mr. Cornish's resignation. He asked for it and he accepted. To resign as parliamentary secretary in the office of the Prime Minister. We were profoundly hardened to witness the Prime Minister's decisive call for the MP resignation, marking a commendable display of leadership and a real affirmity of his commitment to a just and responsible government. The group said this is indeed a landmark day for our justice system, setting a precedent that underscores the belief that no individual, regardless of their position, is above the law. While celebrating the critical milestone, we emphasize the importance of maintaining a non-political and impartial approach throughout the legal process. Justice should always be blind to political affiliation or biasness, ensuring that both sides are afforded equal access to justice. It is important that both the alleged victim and the accused are heard by a jury or their peers who will be charged with making a determination in the matter of innocent or guilty. The public must now let justice take its course. We must all guard against making statements indicating either the guilt or innocence of the accused. The integrity of our justice system rests upon such principle, and we are hopeful that they will continue to guide the course of action. The women's group noted that survivors of abuse often face difficulties. The process is demanding, immense strength and resilience, and it's crucial for society to recognize and respect this struggle. The group said, as we advocate for stronger rape laws, we urge those who oppose or question these reforms to reflect on the profound significance of these cases and the deeply personal battles faced by survivors and their families. We have a call on the line? Ali, we have a call on the line? Okay, caller.
Hello.
Good night, sorry.
Hello.
Good night, go ahead.
Hello, Scrooge.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Can you hear Sparky?
No, I can't hear you, Sparky. I can hear you, Spark.
But let me tell you something. No, Scrooge, let me tell you something. I don't know, Scrooge, that's your shoe. All due respect, Scrooge, that's your shoe. I left from Prospect Ridge. Holding on, listening to you and Papa. You know where I'm at right now?
Yeah.
I'm reaching the roundabout by Old Fort Bay.
Oh, they're chilling out.
No, listen to me.
Hey.
Dude,
Hey.
all that time you was talking after Papa, that your producer had me on hold.
Man, Sparky,
I listened to you.
why you always coming like this? Sparky, why you always coming like this? Why you always trying to believe like you so... Man, Sparky, come on, man. You run over like small things. Like small things. If you have your chance, you have a chance. Let Papa talk and let Papa talk. If you have a chance to talk, you talk. Sparky, man, come on, let's come on, be good,
No,
man.
all I'm trying to say is give me a chance to say...
You always have chance to say, Sparky, who's talking more than you? Sparky, who on radio besides the talk shows? Who's have more said in the talk shows? Sparky, you have more said...
Hold on, Scrooge. I wasn't the most popular talk show caller in this world.
That's right, but that don't give you rights to call every talk show and believe that you was the biggest talk show. Everyone might don't want to listen to you. That's just the bad as Sparky. But you my boy, go ahead, Sparky. You know how I go, man. Go ahead.
But boy, look here. I am just reaching. I'm heading on by Life of the Hills to hear my friend,
Yes, sir.
Jonathan Ridge. Right? And I just wanted to say something
Go ahead, sir.
regards to what you and Papa and all of us are talking about.
Yes, sir.
Scrooge, we've been talking too long, for so long.
Yes, sir.
The F&M, the UBB, the PLP, I am all my life I've been voting like Papa. Honest, all of us was PLPs. We did this thing all our years.
Yes, sir.
Philip Edward Brave Davis is my prime minister. He's my school friend. All that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to my country now.
Oh, Lord, Sparky.
Hold on now.
Go ahead, Sparky.
Not good.
I said that, Sparky. Sparky, I said that.
Good.
Sparky, I said that.
Not good.
I said that, Sparky.
When it comes down to my country, good.
You push all that aside.
I pledge my allegiance to the flag of the Bahamas.
Yes, sir. I like
I
that.
want us all to grab hands and move on forward,
Yes, sir.
over together.
Yes, sir.
If I had to tell my schoolmate, Brave Davis, who I made a prime minister,
Yes, sir.
Sparky made him a prime minister.
Sparky, make him a prime minister.
I made, but I can't tell you that.
Yes,
Sparky
sir.
did more in the last time campaign
Yes, sir.
than anybody to make him a prime minister.
Yes, sir.
And I ran Mr. Menace right on Bay Street.
May you run him? May you make him run?
I ran him out of Bay Street.
Sparky, man, stop it.
I tried out of Bay Street.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Spark.
Y'all know what Sparky made, because Sparky made violence. People in Australia.
Yes, sir.
People in England.
Yes, sir.
People that don't go to North America. That's true. Was calling me Sparky. Did you cover that prime minister? I said, yes, I did. Mr. Thomas, he was trying to be a dictator, and I ran him out of Bay Street. I ran him out of Bay Street by myself. He didn't even have a chance to have no campaign.
All right.
Because COVID was around. Hold on, Scrooge is it.
I listen.
We don't know campaigns in the park because COVID was around.
Yes, sir.
There'd be a Dorian mess of the Bahamas.
Who? Oh, Dorian. Yeah.
Dorian mess of the Bahamas. Then COVID came behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the problem with Minister Doss.
Yeah. What did he do to us,
We
man?
locked down on him. He locked the whole country down. We didn't know what to do between 6 o'clock in the morning. That man put us through hell and high water. And Sparky got on the radio and run him out of power. Brave Davis can tell you.
So what you can do with Brave now?
Brave came to me, Sparky. You campaigned by yourself.
Yeah.
And 1 minute out of dog on power.
Yeah. So what you can do now with Brave now? I think that's a good friend, but you're saying
now
that.
I try to tell Brave.
Don't try to tell Brave now.
The people are suffering, Brave. You are my brother. You are my prime minister. Some of these people, including my member for parliament, I don't want to see him touch my gate. Mario Bowler.
Oh, Lord, Sparky, let there. What happened
Mario
now?
Mitchell. He didn't lose one polling division.
Uh-huh. You don't say no more
I
either?
come here. Look here.
You don't say no more either, Sparky?
Hold on, Scrooge. I saw him one time since he got in House Assembly. I see him all on TV.
You see him one time?
All on sports, all on TV. And, you know, he called me one day. Scrooge, he called me one day. Tell me say he could send his chauffeur around there to bring me 3 Guinness.
3 Guinness? So, Sparky, you only wait 3 Guinness? That's what you trying to say?
But no, Scrooge. I tell him, I say, am I alcoholic that I ask for Guinness?
Sparky, he's supposed to say...
Mr. Cummins, my chauffeur can bring you 3 Guinness. I said, look here, I drink 8 Guinness every day. I don't need no Guinness.
He's supposed to tell you, say you can bring you 3 different
I
conducts.
tried to get you to do some things from Garden Hills.
Uh-huh. All right.
You go there. Look here, let me Scrooge, I get on this. I just put it into Tennyson Red's place.
Okay.
At Life at Hills.
See, that used to be the big boys. Big boys.
No. I got money now.
Huh?
I got good times now.
Listen, Sparky.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Sparky. Go ahead.
I'm putting in the security is opening the gates. They read on Sparky.
You the boss.
Like Tennyson Red's place out at Life at Hills.
Listen.
Hey, hold on, Scrooge. Let me tell the story, man.
Go ahead.
Now to get ready to open the gates, they waiting on Sparky. When I reach there, Sparky reach. All right?
Yes, sir.
What I'm trying to tell all of them FNMs and them PLPs, let me tell you something. The Bahamian people ain't stupid no more.
No, sir.
And marching ain't going to do it.
No marching in it.
It's the X at the place.
At the polls. That one time would be doing everyone now?
No, let me tell you something. Scrooge, this is what I believe.
Go ahead.
I believe Brave is trying his best to do what he can do. Brave is a damn good man.
So you think some of the people he ran trying to break him down?
Some of them doggone rookies in there, what he got in there.
And they just for money.
Some of them will move them, or it could be a one-time in and a one-time out.
Yeah. Damn.
I talked to Perry Christie.
Uh-huh.
Perry Christie said the last time anybody went 2 times was Sherwood Ingram.
Uh-huh.
Now check the history. Finland went 25 years.
And after that it was Ingram in 2?
Ingram went 2 times. Perry was in and out. Hubert come back. Perry was in and out. Bam, bam. Hubert minutes was in and out.
3.5 years.
Like, I tell you,
He do himself though.
He got in the Bahamas, Scrooge.
Yeah.
But all the damage between Dorian, the hurricane,
Yes, sir.
and the COVID, I said, look, I got 3 different bubble right. Like, give me that 3 down nail in the finger, right?
Yes, sir.
You got Dorian, the hurricane.
Yes, sir.
You got the COVID.
Yes, sir.
And then the next thing with damage us was minutes.
Wow.
Now, we done run him off of Bay Street, and he still won't come back. Won't be a dictator again.
So Keith Bell put it on us now.
No, I say minutes still won't come back.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
What I'm saying is, we don't get rid of them.
Yes, sir.
What I was talking to Perry Christie one time. Perry Christie said, to get this country back together, we need a prime minister. You can't complete to do the damage in 5 years.
Yeah.
We need a prime minister who would do at least 10 years
Yeah.
to get it back together.
Yes.
We got to fight to get Brave to finish the damage with ministers. Brave cannot do it in 5 years.
No, it can't. No prime minister can do it in 5 years. No prime minister can do it in 5
We
years.
need Brave back there. We need Brave back there.
10, 15 years.
The forces with ministers.
Yes, sir. I agree.
I have nothing else to say. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum.
Hey, Sparky, when you pass in my area sometime this week, you better bring me 1 6-pack of collect beer. You ain't gonna go and drink out home. You going to Tennyson Bells and go sit down and drink all them Guinness and eat all kind of steak. I want steak too, Sparky. You're telling all your business too, so I want some cold drinks. We have one more caller? Call if you can make it real quick. We only have about 2 more minutes, but I don't want to. I want to just let you get your time. Go ahead, caller. Caller, you there? I guess they left. Caller, you there? Yeah, we got a very. I love the gas man. Sparky's my boy, man. Sparky, boy, I like Sparky's can't do bad, man. You know, that's my boy. Though he all right. He is do his part, you know. And to all the callers who called, you guys did an excellent, wonderful job. And the caller who called in earlier, and he talked about Brave Davis not giving him all the credit, I wasn't giving him the credit, just saying the fact that, he recommended his resignation. And then he, I think he had something to do. But like you said, the AGG, but I always said come down there. But just the audacity and the courage to be able to let the matter develop the way it developed. It took a long time. And that's a slap in the face to the Bahamian people. But I like the stance we're taking now towards corruption, towards our political leaders, towards police officers getting put before the court for serious offenses now. So we're getting somewhere, and we got to keep the activism up. And people like yourself who calling on the radio, especially on these shows, you're the key, because when the politicians listen and hear the cries of the Bahamian people on the radio station, and they reflect back and they know we're on to them. Like our Sparky said, you can't fool the Bahamian people no more. Eyes open. And we only giving you 5 years. We ain't even give Minutes 5 years. At least Minutes doing himself. He doing himself. He going to call over the election and doing himself. I don't know who he's listening to. So if Brave want to be like that and listen to the same people who Ministers listen to in his circle and call a snap election thinking he's going to win, and he got destroyed at the polls and he end his career as repeating as Prime Minister, I don't think he'd be opposition leader ever again. I don't think he'd ever be Prime Minister ever again, based on the mistakes he made. And Sparky's in 10 years. That he's put his back for 15 years. We're going to take this last call. Caller, could you make it real quick? Go ahead, caller.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing, my brother?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Anthony.
Yeah, this is Don.
Anthony, I know your voice.
Yeah. I know your voice, too.
Good night to you.
Yeah, man. Good night to you, too. Good night to the nation. Everything cool?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Speak your mind.
All right. What prompted me to call in, I don't normally pay so much attention when Sparky talking, right?
Yes, sir.
But he made a little bit of sense out of the lot what he said.
Okay, go ahead.
And I just want to echo one part of what he said, which I've been saying for about a year and a half now.
Go ahead, sir.
The Prime Minister, my Prime Minister, he needs to make some hard decisions. If he doesn't make those hard decisions to set right some people who are around him, who are creating plenty damage, who are disenfranchising Bahamians, who don't have the heart that he has and don't seem to be prepared to follow with his spirit, if he doesn't make the hard decisions to shut them down and bring them into alignment or move them out of the way entirely,
yes, sir,
we're not going to win the next election.
Wow.
We have all the opportunity.
Yes,
It
sir.
is ours right now to secure the next election. But if the Prime Minister does not make those hard decisions, and I've said this to him on several occasions, we will not win the next election.
Yeah.
That's all I call it, Echo. Thank you for the opportunity. God bless.
Yes. When you see persons who are big supporters like that giving their advice, these guys are consulting. You understand? They don't want to be the consultants like how Minnesota, like how Minnesota in the last general election who listened to those guys, we get this country and boss, we get everything this and we get everything that and everything right. And persuade him that he's going to win that election. No one he put the Bahamian people through hell, and his advice telling them, boss, you can win the next election. Of course, they getting their contract. That's what Anton is saying to you, sir. Listen to me, you're a good, decent man. I heard this, but some of the people around your circle, sir, they greedy and they ain't transparent. So you have to make the shuffle, you have to get rid of Keith. But I don't nothing against Keith Bell, but the Bahamian people saying Keith Bell gotta go. So if you hear the whole nation, the opposition, and the people, and your party supporters saying Mr. Bell gotta go, let Mr. Bell go. Make the decision. You have to make the decision because people see what is going on and what he's doing is wrong, and he's a reflection of you, sir. Mr. Bell is a reflection on you. Last election, you see what happened? Michael Pine, he destroyed Menace. Once he went his way, he destroyed Menace. Then a few other politicians. You see? You have to make the decision, sir. If the Bahamian people are saying something wrong, and you have immigration official, my auntie Lillian Brandon, she's been in immigration over 30 years. But listen to me, she's one of the most honest person in the whole world, my auntie. All right? And the only reason I call him because I saw it on Facebook, L. Brennan. So I know that's my auntie who I'm working in immigration. You know, I just want to tell you something about immigration, but I keep it, some things to keep it secret. You understand? But I just get my information. And all our family members like that. Because we want this country to be a better place. And like Antoine said, hey, cuz, Sean, your hand feel. Ma, good night, Ma. That's my cousin Jeff. Hey, Jeff Mitchell, how the family? How the family, Jeff? Jeff Mitchell. We go way back. That's the Millis family. They are the most lovely set of people I've ever known. Millis. Jeff and his wife, George, and Miss Alexander Millis, Paracleus, you know, they just some of the most wonderful set of people I've ever met. You know, and they helped me make my community a better place, and they still assisting me. So I want to give a special thanks to Jeff Mitchell tonight. And one link follow. Good night to you and my sister, Nicole Lightmine. So yes, Mr. Davis, you're a decent man, and I've been hearing this. And when you see people like Sparky calling who support you and Anton, you know, they're telling you have to make some decision. Because in the eyes of the Bahamian people, they lay in the Cornish case now with the Minister of Immigration, Keith Bell. You know, something she just would do. It wouldn't hurt you to fire him or ask his resignation. He could always have the next government department. That's what you do. Just demote him and put someone else in place. You understand? And make sure that no one follow this kind of direction that he took. Because it seems to me, even though they say not illegal, there are a lot of stuff that he has seen to be doing illegal, because we've seen the opposition speak on it and the government speak on it. So why is he still a sitting minister, a cabinet minister? You know, and like I say, I'm going to close on this. I know, all right, why they don't want bulldoze not the horses in Lucha and Andres and in the Bahamas. It's not because of no injunction. It's because they're scared of the repercussion of attacking Haitian nationals who came here illegally, but they have Bahamian status. And you know how they get Bahamian status? Let me tell you all this. Listen to me. Let me go on the record. 25, 30 years ago, as a young street guy, I had a couple hundred voters card that we collect, and we help a lot of Haitian nationals who didn't have no paperwork or no status in the country. We were working with government and opposition to get them sorted out. Okay? So many of us had a lot of voters card what we had around the election. And a lot of people now who you see are Haitian national and have citizenship. That's how all that started. And you know what it was all about? Numbers, people. Numbers. This about numbers. They look at the population of how many Haitian Bahamians here registered. Right? And they see that a lot of Bahamians, us as Bahamians, you know, we so frustrated we ain't going to the polls to vote. Because if you look at the registry vote, the last time you would see, well, I think it was 160, 170, when they saying close to over 100,000 people didn't even get registered to vote. So that's the Bahamian people who are frustrated. But in there, we have a lot of Haitian Bahamian who are part of a political party or know some leaders or some MPs or some kind of connection. And they just work together. And they just vote for a specific party. And both parties know these numbers. And both parties know if they want to win a general election, they cannot offend the Haitian Bahamian population in the country. Because many Bahamians who have voting rights in the country have given up. And then people who want status and want to get that paperwork, it's these Haitian nationals who want to become Bahamian citizens, who want to receive work permit, who want to receive passport, who want to receive national insurance number, and receive driver's license. The only way you're going to get that if you get to know somebody who politically inclined to get these things for you from the government agency. So that's what it's all about. So when you see the shanty towns not breaking down and etc., it's because of that. The numbers, people. We're being sold out because both political parties want to be reinstated, or one wants to beat a new government. And they know the numbers. They know the numbers, people. You understand? So we are completely out of time. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. And I always tell the truth. You understand? So I want to give my thanks to my auntie Lillian Brennan. I hope I ain't put it on speed blast, but it's the document is there. I saw Lincoln being reading it. You know, I'm not too fond of nobody who promote violence. I come from violence. You understand? I ain't promoting nobody who promote violence. Okay? I ain't for that. Especially when you're a pastor and you promoting violence. I ain't here because I know you get demons. I ain't talking about no one but I know if you're a pastor and you want to be a leader and you're violent and you don't have no respect for your mouth and you're talking to everyone, but yeah, I ain't falling for that. No disrespect to nobody. That is not the personality. I come from that world, right? And I ain't going back there. And I know what type of people who have that attitude, what they do to the country. You understand? So we got to be careful who we elect as leaders in the PLP and the FNM, even the coalition of independents. You understand? You better pray God be finding someone who's a humble prime minister, who have a heart, but also ready to make tough decisions. You understand? And carrying this country forward. I want to give a special thanks to Bishop Ferguson for the Big Harvest community. He had an event 2 weeks ago. It was very successful on the H Street Park. I would like to say special thanks to East Street Gospel Chapel Church, Salem Union Baptist Church, and again to my friend Jeff Mitchell and his family. And to everyone who listened to Inside the Inner City.